All right. The clock says 4 o'clock. As soon as I hit the record button on my thing, the panel will start. Hello, everyone. It's me, Matty's Masquerades. You might remember me from such panels as Banjo-Kazooie from Dream to Switch and the leading ladies of Mario, bosses, players, and former damsels. Today's panel will be about cosplay and how to do it when you don't have $100 or 100 hours to spend on it. It's closet and thrift cosplay, how to cosplay efficiently while being cost and time effective. So, what is closet cosplay? In literal terms, it's when you take something that you already own, which could be out of your closet, hence the name, and you repurpose it or use it there to make it into a cosplay without buying anything else. It could be a shirt or something you find as a prop, but before I continue, we'll turn it over to the audience. Has anybody here ever made a literal closet cosplay? This means made entirely out of things you own, not buying anything. All right, so first question. You in the front with the pink hair and the black bows in your hair. You raised your hand. Did you want to speak? I was saying it's time to speak. Sorry. This is, like I said, this is an audience interaction panel. Does anybody want? Okay, let me rephrase that. Does anybody want to speak about that? You in the back with the black coat on, with the gray coat on.
Yeah, this is my first closet cosplay. Dressed up as Max Payne.
Oh, that's nice. Matter of fact, I'm actually kind of thinking about I thought about doing Mr. Bates from Downton Abbey once. Not too many people would really recognize that one without props, but I don't really care. Fair. Yep. All right. So, what about you with the white wig?
I did Mario because I got in a hat one time when I was more or less little. I got into overalls that work at an airport, stuff like that. I got in Chuck E. Cheese work and I did this for that too.
Ooh, that's nice. So I'll tell you another little story about one I did. I did Johnny 2x4 from Ed, Edd n Eddy. Now Johnny just usually just wears a white shirt and some blue pants. A lot of people already own that. But now what about Plank? How did I get Plank? So at the movie theater I was working at, there was some construction going on nearby. I found a couple planks in the break room, so I picked up one of those. Then I attended a workshop and I found some felt tip markers, so I drew the face on it, and there, boom, I've got Plank, and now I'm Johnny 2x4. Okay, so anybody else want to share any stories? You over there with the tattoo on your arm, or is that a?
It's tattoos.
Yeah.
I did Kate's short skirt, long jacket.
Wait, who?
The song "Short Skirt, Long Jacket" by Kate.
Oh,
I had a clipboard and I just wrote shark, thorough. And we had a toy machete at home and we just put red tape on it.
Oh, cool. All right, yeah, a matter of fact, because I remember back in the day, I remember wanting to do some characters with it that just have a marking on them. Speaking of guys in suits like Mr. Bates, I was thinking about once doing Mr. Mosby from The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. Now, the thing is, his entire thing would be sold with props like that Prindle meme or the don't blank in the lobby. But I remember at the time I was being told I shouldn't because it brought to mind one Simpsons quote I remember. I don't think Radioactive Man would wear a plastic smock with a picture of himself on it. He would on Halloween. But you know what? If that's what you want to do, go for it. Wear a plastic smock with a picture of yourself saying, "Hi, I'm Mario" on it. Wear a plastic smock with a picture saying, "Hi, I'm Mr. Bates" or "Hi, I'm Kate from that song." It's all fun. So before I move on, anybody have any other stories they want to share about closet cosplays where you don't buy anything else? You in the black.
Not to disgrace anybody, the energy in this room, but in League of Legends, when the character Renata Glass came out, I was like, oh my god, wait a minute, why does her outfit look familiar? And I look at my closet and I see I have the exact button-up shirt, I have the
Yep, that's nice. Yeah, when you look inside your literal closet and you think of a cosplay with stuff there, that's what's called closet cosplay. Yep. All right. Okay, so before we move on, we got someone else raising their hand.
So several years ago, I did Go-Go Yubari from Kill Bill because I was deep into my blue phase and I already had the schoolgirl skirt and high socks and button-up shirt. So I just needed to do that, and then technically I did buy a thing of floral foam to be her floor meteor hammer. So slightly cheating, but all the clothes were on.
Well, yeah, sometimes if you see something you like and then later decide to buy something for later to make it look better, that is perfectly valid. Matter of fact, when I did Monkey D. Luffy from One Piece at first, the thing is I already had a straw hat, I already had shorts, and I already had a button-down shirt, which I wasn't using anymore, so I just cut the arms off into a vest. But then I just found a better vest, and I ended up using that. And then I found a red ribbon straw hat. It might not have actually had anything to do with One Piece, but it was cheap, and it looked so similar, and I got it. Yep. Okay. Before we move on, any more stories? You?
I dressed as the scout from Team Fortress 2. My brother had a baseball bat in the garage. I had cleats from playing soccer. So I also had the high socks, just Old Navy pants that we worked with Ray, a red T-shirt, and just my dad used to work in DC in the 90s and get this bluish briefcase that had a black stripe down the middle. It just happened to work. So, and then one of those Spy Kids earpieces that you got from Mattel or something like that. And I just put that on with a black hat and it worked.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, matter of fact, when lockdown first came on and I started buying some masks, I actually had considered using them later on for some of the Mortal Kombat characters, especially the SNES versions. They're very simple to put together, and the mask just kind of completes it. Yep. Okay, so any more stories? I don't see any hands, so we'll move on now. Next. On a less literal term, but more frequently used term, closet cosplay can be when a cosplay is made out of budget items, like something you'd see at a thrift store or something off a clearance rack. And so now we move in order to the next question. What categories do you have for a more broad cosplay? How did you plan it? Did you change it in the middle? And where did you go to find them? Anyone want to talk any questions about how you made something on a very, very thin budget? Okay, you in the white wig again?
When I made my Mario cosplay, I originally got that. The only thing I really wasn't hat, that I got that one from because I had it a really long time ago when I was younger, like a Mario baseball hat. The overalls I used to work at airport, I overall at a job, and because at airport we had better shirts, I wear better shirts. The boots, I have to wear boots at the airport, and so everything else came together. And I said, well, and then at the last minute I added the white gloves because I asked my boss if we had any gloves, so I used the gloves right there.
That's actually kind of how I started doing. I remember doing Link in the Goron tunic from Ocarina of Time. I managed to go into one of Hot Topics after Halloween sale. The Hylian shield was on sale, and so since I wanted the Goron tunic, I remember I was able to find the Goron hat, and I couldn't really find a good tunic, so I ended up getting a giant bathrobe from a thrift store, and I just called it a Goron tunic, and it's a Goron tunic because I say so. All right. Any other stories about seeing something on the thrift store and then coming up with it on the fly? You with the blush?
Me?
Yes.
Oh, thanks. The cosplay I'm currently wearing is Marley Aaron. And so when I went to the Goodwill, I saw this jacket, and I knew it looked exactly like what they wear. And I was just building upon what I already have. So I've already got brown hair that I grew out, and I grew my stubble out. So it was just a matter of working with what I've already got, but also being on a budget and getting creative with it.
Yep, that's actually partly how I did my Judy Hopps from Zootopia when she's on the farm. I told myself if I ever see that shirt, I'm doing it, and then I saw the shirt. So
And I got the makeup for the Titan markings at Spirit Halloween when it was all half off.
Cool. Yep. Yeah, sometimes if I just see something else and I think it'll work, then it'll work. Like the aforementioned Judy Hopps was one example. And I'm trying to remember. There was one one that I'm still hoping to get. Only if I ever get it on for cheap. If I get some blue and white striped pants, I'm doing Mallow from Super Mario RPG.
Awesome.
Yep. But only if I can find those pants for cheap. I'm not spending too much on them. Yep.
I felt that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so any other stories about... You okay? Max Payne, was it?
No, I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry, not you. I'm talking to the one next to you. Sorry, I mistook you for somebody else. You and the other gray coat.
Yeah. So I already had the jean shorts, so I went to Goodwill to find a yellow shirt, and then I got some real cheap red clothespin, and I painted all the red stripes to make Lucas from Mother 3.
Cool. Yep. All right, you and the green hair.
I mean, even basically the cosplay I'm wearing right now, I went to the Renaissance Festival in Maryland like earlier last year and went to a shop where they had a bunch of leather things. So I bought them and I was like, wait a second, I can totally reuse all of this to do my current cosplay, which is Eris from Hades 2. The rest I like sewed and all that, so it's not really much of a closet cosplay, but the really difficult working with leather, I couldn't do. So that's why I purchased it somewhere else.
Yep. Matter of fact, I actually brought something with me that I partially used that. At BlurredCon 2024, I decided to do... hang on a second. This blue shirt with a spiral on it. It was really easy to make, but I'm using it for the Poliwag evolution chain from Pokemon. I just changed my head for that. Okay, so anyway, any other stories like that? Anyone else? Okay, you with the purple hair in the back.
Luckily where I live is very small town, so there's a whole line of thrift shops. You can hit like 5 thrift shops in the entire day, and one of them I saw the ugliest fur vest I've ever seen in my life. And it was new at the time. It was white, it was fluffy, and it was short in the front, long in the back. It was, Forever 21, and I'm like, who in the world would ever wear this? But the more I look at it, I'm like Princess Mononoke. I tied the sleeve shut and made it a cape.
Cool.
And then that same haul, I got a blue dress for like $3, and I shredded a tank top and got boots for like $2, and just used it. Believe it, my real hair is short brown. I didn't have to do anything else for the dress.
Nice. Yeah, matter of fact, for those who do live in this area, not too far from here in Alexandria, there's a string of thrift shops. I think one of them's called it's just simply called Thrift Store of Virginia. That's in the Bellhaven area, which, in fact, a couple KatsuCons ago, I got a hotel room like across the street from it. So if you live in the area, that's a good one. And there's 2nd Avenue in the Mount Vernon area, also in Alexandria, not too far from this very building. So, yeah, if you're looking for a couple thrift stores in a row, those are 2 really good places to start. All right. Any other questions about something you saw and then later decided to make a cosplay out of it? You and the black again?
I was actually raiding my mom's closet for winter jackets because I didn't have any formal winter jackets at the time. And I saw she had this really vibrant, bright red, like it reflected light, bright red trench coat. And it took me a second, and then I remember my sister yelling at me from the other room, like, are you going to help me sort out these games or not? And I remember, oh my God, we used to visit Carmen San Diego.
Cool.
And then I ended up just going to Michael's, getting a bunch of like yellow fabric, destroying an Amazon box, and getting some red fabric, and then just making an obscenely large Carmen San Diego hat, yellow belt, and everything. And I'm actually going to wear that on, I think, Saturday or Friday.
Yeah. Matter of fact, yeah. Anytime I see a hoodie, pretty much, I realize it can be a different colored. It could be used for one of 3 different things: Shy Guys, Fall Guys, or Among Us. Because I already have all the proper masks for those. Yep. What were you saying? Something? You with the makeup again?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, Okay, all right. Any other? Oh, someone else has their hand up back there. You were in blue, I think. Oh yeah, with a gray sweater, blue shirt. Yeah.
My wife and I are actually dressing up tomorrow as dispatchers from the game Dispatch. I went out and got 2 blue shirts and just like using fabric markers put on the logo, and we're just gonna have like headsets.
Cool. All right. Okay. All right. You in the blonde hair.
So I'm going as Panelists from the musical, and I could not find a shirt that's the right color for semi-musicals, so I just got 2 pairs of pants and then cut it open and made it one sleeve instead of trying to find a matching shirt.
Yeah. Sometimes you just find other things that work instead. Yep. Yep. I'm trying to remember. There was something I did do once. I remember trying to make one thing that wasn't something into another thing. I'm trying. I'll talk about it later. I've got a lot of stories at the end, especially if the stories run out. But anyway, anybody else have anything they wanted to say in relevance to finding something and then deciding to make a cosplay? You with the dual disc. You're Yang from Ruby.
Tip for people if you have any sewing skills, quick sewing skills, if you go to thrift stores and get cheap sheets, cheap fabric.
Yeah. All right. Yep. Yeah. Yep. Okay. So, right. We got a tattoo.
In the same vein, you can like frog a sweater for the yarn. Yeah, for the crochet and knit down here.
Yep. Whatever works. Yep. So, okay. Any other stories about something you saw once and then just decided it should be a cosplay? Again with the makeup.
Sorry, this will be the last time I say anything.
No, this is an open discussion panel. Go if unless I say stop, then keep going.
Alright, so this was actually the first cosplay I ever did was the cover player character for PUBG, which is my favorite battle royale of all time. So, I mean, I made the level 3 helmet out of foam, and then in my closet I just had a white button-down shirt. I put on a tie very menacingly, put on some belts, a frying pan on my belt, and then just put on a backpack I already had. And then a kid went up to me and asked me if I had ever heard of Fortnite when I first time ever cosplayed CecilCon 2019. It's great.
Yep.
Only to be asked if I had ever heard of Fortnite.
All right. Okay. So, anybody else wanna? Okay, you with the elf ears, huh?
I just wanted to add on to the person that said like tweets. You can also find like tablecloths and curtains there. So if you're going for like some more like historical, which I usually do, it's like good for like rotation fabrics. You can get like huge curtains for like just $2.
Yeah, I'm hoping I can learn to sew soon so I can make myself dresses. I do have a lot of long gown dresses I've made. Now, yeah, a matter of fact, although I ended up buying one, I'm not sure if anybody here knows what Miss Scarlet or Miss Scarlet and the Duke is. I was planning to do the titular character from that. It's one of those British shows that air Sunday nights on PBS. She wears it. It takes place in Victorian era times. I think you already know what I'm getting at just from that description. Yep. Anyone else? Wanted to talk about something you saw and later decided to make a cosplay out of? I don't see any hands. Next up, yep. Casual or hall cosplay. There's also cosplays that are referred to those as that. They're made with minimal effort and usually just resembles casual clothing. It's something you could wear in your everyday life, but occasionally with a prop or two to embody the character. All right? Has anyone here ever done a casual or hall cosplay? You use the Snorlax hat? I don't know if that's a Snorlax. Oh, no, that's just a hat.
Yes, so there's this video game called Control, and I noticed she had like a trucker jacket, and I just got a regular like leather jacket. You can get them in a lot of different thrift stores, and I got a wig on Amazon, and then it turned out no one was as obsessed with the game as I was, so no one knew who I was. But I had a good time, and it was very fun.
Yeah.
And the other one was my ex-family. I got a bronze wig to do Lloyd's torture, and in the movie, he wears like a beige like jacket, and those are really easy to get in thrift stores or wherever you're looking. So those are my two like casual
Yeah. Matter of fact, a lot of the characters that I was thinking about doing, both from the Masterpiece PBS shows as well as most characters from live-action sitcoms, will just end up being something that you'd really have to know about to recognize. Like Mr. Bates and Mr. Mosby are two that I talked about earlier. Although with Mr. Mosby, I'll have some meme-based props to just really sell it. Like I'll be passing out no blank in the lobby cards, or I mentioned I even have a can of Prindles, which is a Pringles can with Mr. Mosby's face on it. But yeah, I mean, that is something that I have also done. I was at the Sakura Matsuri a couple years ago. I was Seto Kaiba from Yu-Gi-Oh! Matter of fact, if you went to there and you saw the cosplay stage, I'm the one who went on the stage and tore up the Blue Eyes White Dragon, just in case you know. So anyway, as I was saying, when it was time to pack up, all I had to do was just take off the dual disc and the wig, and I was just some guy in a purple coat. Yeah. All right, so you again with the green hair?
I find that a lot of my really minimalist cosplays comes down to, it doesn't matter what I'm wearing, but if the makeup looks cool or accurate for that character, you can pretty much pass it off as that character. I've cosplayed a lot of Sanrio characters just because I'm a huge Sanrio fan, so I already have a bunch of like Japanese street fashion or Lolita-esque looks. But then, if you do a certain type of makeup, like for Hello Kitty, like adding a pink nose, or for Kuromi adding like kind of like pink kind of cheeks, you can make it work, and then they just look at your face and go, I know who you are. And if you don't have that makeup, then it's like, oh, I guess you're just wearing a bunch of random clothing. You really must like that character, huh? But it works.
Yep. As my very first cosplay was Steven Universe. He doesn't really wear too much in his regular outfits back in the early show. He didn't really wear too much out of the ordinary. A shirt with a star on it. Everyone knew who I was when they saw me at the con, but normal people didn't really look at me very funny at all. They just thought I was just some guy with a shirt with a star on it. Yep. All right. Anything else about Closet and Hall? You with the glasses. Her. I didn't know if you were even called. All right. Oh.
So interesting counterpoint. I'm actually not that confident in really anything cosplay related, including makeup. So I'd love to learn from people who are more experienced. I'm actually really excited about this what I'm doing tomorrow. So for anyone who's seen the anime that I've done, Turbo 3 is the kind of unhinged version of her. And what I'm really excited about is that I got 3D printed masks. Did a lot of like playing around with paint and everything. So if you see a creepy old lady wandering around with the pink mask, that would be me. But what's really cool about her cosplay is that the actual clothes are extremely basic. So it's like you think just like sort of a maroon robe, gray t-shirt, blue pants. Coincidentally, they're all super comfy, so I fully intend to wear them afterwards. But the other cool thing is so she has dark red skin, and I was agonizing over like painting my skin and all this stuff. And one of the suggestions was actually to use sheer gloves that have like a color, and then you can always add like dyes or paint over top of it. So I'm excited that I do not have to do makeup for this, but it still looks sufficiently creepy. So yeah.
All right. Okay. So you with your hand up. Yep.
Yeah, I just wanted to piggyback off of that. Last year was my first MAGFest, and I had just started dating this guy, and he asked if I would cosplay with him as Miss Martian. I had never seen the show or heard of that character, and now we're engaged.
Oh. Aw. Yeah. Matter of fact. So you keep going. You keep going.
I just wanted to say, for those who don't know the show, she has green skin, and one of the things you can do that's really easy if you, instead of doing full body makeup, and this is what I did, is I bought 2 pairs of green tights. You cut like a hole for your head and a hole for your arms, or just the end of the tights, and that can double up as the top half.
Huh. Yeah. The thing is, I sometimes do Simpsons characters. I could do yellow things on that. Yeah, because I've already done Mo Sislak, and I could just do I could make a yellow hoodie for him. Because yeah, some people don't even know that I'm Mo, although even when I'm holding that giant Duff Stein. Yep. Yeah.
Like, instead of cutting them off, you can also like turn it inside out, like sew it, and then you can have it as a glove at the end if they have enough.
All right. Oh, yeah. Matter of fact, piggybacking off of the whole doing something I don't really know. So I'm sure most people here know about Phoenix Wright and Ace Attorney. So I was with the group and I was planning to do Dick Gumshoe one day. However, I've never actually played Phoenix Wright. I plan to soon. But it never actually got off the ground because, we kind of drifted apart as friends and one of them kind of moved away. But I still had in mind to do Dick Gumshoe one day when after actually playing the game, which was later reaffirmed after. Now, this is something I'm going to confess to doing, but I promise I will never do this again. I had previously done Nauta Nandaba from Fooly Cooly, but for a prop, I kinda painted medical gauze on my forehead and then planned to use real ones. But after reading a couple posts from some people with disabilities about not pretending to do that, my disability is not your cosplay, my injury is not your cosplay, everything. You know what? Yeah, I'm realizing that, something I can take or wash off when I come home, I should not do that. And because of that, Nauta is actually retired until I can come up with a better prop or just decide not to care. But as for Dick Gumshoe, the Dick Gumshoe plans are now completely off the table until I actually play the game and decide on a prop or just decide to just go and not care if anyone knows who I am or not.
I'll know who you are.
Okay. All right. So, thank you. Well, anyway, so I see your hand up.
This year, it's not a closet cosplay, but I and my spouse are going as Peter and P from Maybe Digital Circus, and we have never made any kind of like prop head or mascot head before, which he did for Pinger. Piggybacking off the uses of sheer tights, those are a lifesaver for finishing up a mascot head, and so that you can still preserve the tone of it while still giving yourself something to see out of. So you have, a little screen, but it still looks like a unified head.
Oh, yep. That's another really good advice. And I was gonna piggyback into a couple other tricks of the trade, unless someone else has something they'd like to share. You again, go ahead.
I feel like everybody's seen at least 5 or 6 at every convention at any given day. Probably one of the easiest closet cosplays to bring out is just Shinji Ikari. Metal chair, and then someone asks, "Why do you have a metal chair?" You pull it out, you hit the pose.
Yep.
I was like, "Oh my god."
This kid just hit the pose and
Yeah.
never seen Evangelion.
Yeah.
I heard that there's a. Excuse me. I heard there's a Persona character that also needs a big chair for that. I'm not that knowledgeable about that franchise, so if anyone does know, Kanji. Okay. Yeah, I knew it was something like that. Yep. Yep. All right. So anyway, anyone else want to? I see you with the red hat in the back. Are you number 4 from Kids Next Door? Yeah, red hat. Are you the red hat? Sorry. Number 5 from Kids Next Door. Yeah. Oh, you're number 4. Yeah, because that's why I asked if you were number 4 from a distance. I couldn't tell from a distance. Yeah, I knew you looked like number 4 from Kids Next Door. Yeah, but I called you number 5, but I said number 5 is a guy. Whoops, sorry. Okay. Number 4 is the one who's voiced by Cree Summer, right? Or is number 5? Number 5 is Cree Summer. Okay. Sorry, number 4 is the one who talks like this. Yeah. Okay. I haven't seen the show in a long time. Yeah. Mhm. All right. Mm-hmm. All right. You in the black with your hand up.
I'm cosplaying as Ellie from the last one part 2, so she's basically wearing like plain outfit, converse, and all three button ups. The only thing to think about is the tattoo, and then just
Yeah, matter of fact, I do remember at one Awesome Con a while ago, there was a cosplay bingo game. I saw this one woman wearing a blue tank top and brown shorts. I asked her, "Oh, are you Lara Croft from Tomb Raider?" She's like, "No, I'm just me. But I'll be Lara Croft if you want me. But if you want me to be Lara Croft, I'll be Lara Croft." So I decided to just count it for that. And of course, I later have seen real Lara Crofts. Some of them have that utility belt weapon. I saw one earlier today who had. I promise this to be a family panel. I'm not going to talk about it, but I'm sure you probably know what I'm talking about. That. Yep. Yeah. So anyway, but now I'm kind of tempted to do that myself one day. Yep. Okay, you and the rainbow.
Me and my partner are going as ice climbers tomorrow.
Ooh.
But I wanted to, like, when we went thrifting for stuff, I was like, I don't really want to, like, really change this pink hoodie that I found and fell in love with it. And instead, I found a bathroom, and it's all white and fluffy, so I cut it up, and I turned it into the belt and the little hood stuff, and instead, it's kind of like a jacket looking. And I just quickly sewed up some, like, some scrap fabric for it, and double-sided tape is everything.
Oh, yeah. Yep. As a matter of fact, I'll just go into the next one, but I will still be hearing your stories later because there aren't that many slides left. But first off, there are many techniques I do because I'm not even that great with a sewing machine. I'm slowly learning hand stitching, but until I master it, I use fabric glue instead of sewing. There's many different kinds of fabric glue that can be found at Walmart, Michael's, and similar stores. A lot of my props are made out of craft foam, which is also very cheap when I get it at Michael's, and I use hot glue guns for adhesive to stick things together, including this crown for Princess Daisy. I'll put one in front of the camera. Yep. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I'm going to be wearing this crown on Saturday. I'll be Princess Daisy in her outfit from Mario Tennis 64. Yep. And if thrift stores in the area don't have what you're looking for, there's Wish.com, Walmart.com, and Old Navy for good choices, as well as eBay auctions. But since I didn't actually ask if people were done with their stories, did anybody have any other stories that they wanted to say before I said anything? You with the green hair.
I guess piggyback on the tricks of the trade. Agreed with the fabric glue. Another thing that I discovered, I can't say this year because we're only like a week into this year. Last year is fusing, like Misty Fuse. That is a lifesaver. Instead of like, because the problem with hot glue, if you're going over like a big piece of fabric, is it tends to melt the fabric underneath and you're trying to save that. So you basically buy, it looks like really, really thinly laid out hot glue strips, and you just iron it on. So you iron it once to like soften the glue, and then you put that fabric on another piece of fabric, iron it again, and it's just attached. I will win.
Cool.
Yeah, it's like webbing, exactly. You can get it on Amazon, any fabric store. Piggybacking off of Alexandria, I think Artistic Artifacts is a fabric store. They have a lot of this kind of stuff. So if you're in the DMV area, I recommend going there.
Wow, I remember trying to use Fusible for Steven the first time I did so, but I think I accidentally put it in the washing machine and it went off. But then I've been hand washing all of mine since. That poly whirl wag ras I did end up hand washing anyway. But yeah, I'll look into Fusible for some of the bigger things too. I mean, yeah, the polywag thing was a little different because it was just a small little target. There are some bigger ones I'm trying. Until I master sewing, that's what I'll consider doing. Yep. You with the chain around your neck?
Similar, kind of piggybacking off of this, if there's any pieces that need to be like removed, double-sided tape and safety pins are your best friend because you can just take them off and back on. Any kind of adjustment, like if you need strap adjustment, it doesn't throw any like lasts or anything. Just put double-sided tape on it, and it will stay put.
All right. You with the glasses? That works. All right. Yeah. Oh, and I forgot to mention another thing. I don't use hot glue gun on fabrics itself. I use different kinds of fabric glue. That Polywhirl jacket actually was just. I think it was just some generic brands I've seen at Michael. I think some of it. I can't remember. I can never remember the brand names for the life of me but they're sold very plentifully. Yeah, and I remember never. I think one of them was called Never Separate, some kind of name. I'll be posting it to the event page and also my YouTube account when I see it later. So yeah, so anyway, any other stories before we continue? I don't see any. But anyway, but just remember. Not everyone has the time or money for the most advanced cosplay. All cosplay is good cosplay. It's not just a hobby and not some competition to be the best, unless you so choose it to be. All right. Now to open the floor to any questions or any other experiences you may wish to discuss. Feel free to follow up other audience members' questions and discussions with questions and discussions of your own. But if nobody else has to say anything, I've got plenty of things to say. And you and the white?
So I had another cosplay I did. She's from Durango, and he wears like a bartender uniform. So I was able to get those like really cheap on Amazon, but you could probably like thrift stores, like find all those things. Like there's just a black vest and like a bow tie and a white shirt. The white shirt I think I did thrift. And then I got one bag on Amazon, and then he's known to use like super strength. So I went to like a stop sign and pretended I was trying to like moving it. It was really fun. It was really silly, but I really liked it.
Yep.
That's a really simple one. You don't need that many things.
Yeah, matter of fact, like I said, this daisy crown is, I attach it to a headband bandeau because I don't know exactly how this is going to sit on someone's head. But, this daisy crown is entirely made out of Michael's craft foam that I glued together and then glued to the headband. Matter of fact, another thing I forgot to mention. Sometimes you can find templates to trace on. Matter of fact, I made this one specifically by looking for a template for Daisy's crown, and I traced it like that. I also have one for Peach and Rosalina, because I'm planning to do all the Mario Sprint Princess Sport variants. And so I can just reuse them between cosplays. And actually, as a matter of fact, there is one other discussion point I was going to bring up. Have you ever reused an item from one cosplay to another? Anybody got any stories about that? You again in the black? Mm-hmm.
So for that Carmen Sandiego jacket, I got a lot of comments being like, hey, are you Alice Card? Because I have some sunglasses too. So I'm like, wait a minute. I went home and I got some safety pins and I added a bunch of that leftover red fabric to the bottom. And I found an old Star Wars blaster that I bought from I think Awesome Comic something. And I looked at the mirror and I'm like, wait, this is just Alice Card. This is perfect. I can just reuse it. And use it again.
Yep, that's matter of fact, going back to my previous thing about the Shy Guy, my original mask for Shy Guy didn't really look right. The thing is, I didn't use any template, and the eyes and the mouth look kind of crooked. I later got a different a template, and I was able to do a different, better-looking Shy Guy, but I didn't want to throw the other one away, so I used it for one of those things from what was the name of those white things from Princess Mononoke? The Kodamas, yeah. So now I decided to use my old Shy Guy mask as a Kodama because it looks more like a Kodama than a Shy Guy anyway. All right. So anyway, any other stories? You with the white wig.
For me, a lot of the cosplays I buy the tops and jackets for, the pants I just get from Old Navy and something like that. Because the really thing for cosplays I really learned, especially after my first one, all the pants are pockets.
Mm-hmm.
Especially as guys, you need pockets.
Yep. And as a matter of fact, I remember one of the first cosplayers that I met. I remember during one weekend he used the same fox ears for 3 different characters. It was Nick Wilde from Zootopia, Fox McCloud from Star Fox, and QB Naruto. And which actually inspired me because I've got these ears that I use. I use one of them for Banjo from Banjo-Kazooie, Diddy Kong, and Arthur from the PBS Kids show, Arthur, the aardvark, that one. All right, so anyone else got anything else they want to share and discuss? You in the purple, huh?
Just like a tip that I learned this year, I'm doing Daisy also on Saturday, and I wanted the crown 3D printed, but I don't have a 3D printer. So my friend apparently found out that, depending on your library, you can some of the libraries have 3D printing that you can just print for free, and you just send them a template, and then they approve it, and then a week later they have it for you.
I'm thinking about trying to 3D print a Star Rod because I do Kirby, but I've always wanted to have a Star Rod as a prop, so I might try to do that one day. Okay, all right. You again?
Going off of that, if you're local to the DMV area, a lot of the public libraries are really well funded, and most of them have 3D printers. I know the Arlington Central Library has one, and some of the other branches have some. And usually they have all of the information on their website.
Yep. Yeah, I live in Herndon. The Herndon Fort Lily I know has one. Yep. Okay, but anyway, you, the lady with the brown hair in the devil shirt, or was it? Mothman. Yeah.
But just the public libraries, MLK Junior Public Library, and BC is our flagship library, has a 3D printing lab and also a sewing lab. So if you want to learn how to use a 3D printer or a sewing machine, you can take their lab classes and then whenever you want.
That's something I might end up actually doing myself. Thanks. Yep. All right. But anyway, there was other people who had hand up. You with the short blue hair. I mean, the short gray hair. Sorry. It's hard to see from this angle. Did you have your hand up, or were you talking about? Looks like she's not responding. Okay, never mind. You with the blonde hair then.
Stickers in my pocket and on your quest. Yes, here is some easy quest. Congratulations.
Yeah, one of these years I'm thinking about coming as an NPC and having these really generic dialogue stickers, but also I do the youngsters from Pokemon, like youngster Ben, I think is one who says, "Hi, I like shorts. They're comfy and easy to wear." I think I ironed that on a shirt a while ago, but I'm thinking about getting one of those so I could really sell it, since, when a trainer sees you, they have an exclamation point above their head. Yep, yeah. All right. So, all right, anyone else? Oh, Leela from Futurama. Yep. Sorry, I didn't recognize you before. Yep.
Yeah, I have a samurai sword that I use for both Beatrix Kiddo and the other characters.
Ooh. Yeah, matter of fact, going back to what we were saying about reusing props, you might notice down there I have a cheeseburger backpack. That was originally gotten for me as a Steven Universe item, but I ended up thinking I could also use it later as Gene Belcher from Bob's Burgers by wearing it on my front. And before that, I was also cosplaying as SpongeBob, so yeah, so that has a lot of uses there too. But however, I just carry it with me just because it's really, really spacious. Yep. Yep. Yeah. Yep. Matter of fact, yeah, I think I've got a red long wig. I use it for Jessie from Pokemon, Alia from Miraculous Ladybug, and Bloom from Winx Club. They all pretty much have the same hairstyle. Yep. All right. Anyone else want to talk? Makeup?
Yeah, so I have a black jumpsuit that I initially got putting together a skull cosplay from Persona 5, and then afterwards I use it as the base layer for my Fallout 4 combat armor that I built from scrap foam that I already had from previous builds, along with scrap leather strips that I used to hold the armor together so that I could actually wear it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have a couple other plans I can use for it, like Aizawa from My Hero Academia, just put a belt with some patches over it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, matter of fact, I was talking before about the PBS Sunday night dramas. So I'm thinking about doing Chummy from Call the Midwife, and I was talking about the Mario Sports Princesses before. The thing is, the midwife dresses, the dress that I use for Rosalina in Mario Tennis Ultra Smash kind of looks like one of those, and she has a red overcoat, which I think I got for Prince Ezrin from Dragon Prince. I could end up putting that over that, and Chummy's hair. It looks so much like Daisy's, so I'm going to be using Daisy's wig for Chubby too. So this is pretty much already built with characters from things that are completely unrelated to Call the Midwife. Yeah. All right. Anyone have anything else they want to add? Flint, I think we've got about 5 minutes left in the panel. I haven't seen the sign yet, but I'm respectful of the X person. Oh, Leela. Crayola air dry clay. Maybe I could use that to make my star rod. Yeah, that gives me a lot to think about. Now I'm really glad I did this panel. All right. Okay. You.
Cry-cut iron-on vinyl. You do not have to buy the fancy cry-cut machine. You can just use the regular iron if you've got it. You cut it out, press it on whatever,
Wow. All right, you and the blonde, huh? Oh wow, yeah. That could really save me a lot with the dresses and stuff, huh? All right, you with the thing around your neck, yeah, the chain. All right, that works too. Okay, yeah. I'm actually thanking y'all for giving me these tips. I'm learning a lot more too. So, anyone else have any other stories they want to share or anything else they want to add? We still got about 4 minutes left. You and the blonde again? Yeah. Ooh, that sounds like a good plan too. Yeah. Thanks again. You again? Yeah.
When I did my Miss Marshall cosplay, I used colored duct tape, two blue stripes like across the chest of the t-shirt instead of painted. It was super quick, and you can generally like remove it and reuse the shirt after you wash it.
Wow. Yes. And I'm glad I'm keeping this recorded too, because with this now all of your advice will be given. Yeah, will be kept here. Now I think I'm gonna be expanding my cosplay library a lot very, very soon. All right, so 4:47, 3 minutes. Anybody else? I don't see any more hands up, so I'm heading for this one. Well, thank you all for coming to my panel, and thank you all for sharing your stories. Tonight, now, as for upcoming panel, you can come up and take a business card from me if you want to keep in touch with me. I'm going to be posting this panel to my YouTube very soon. Also, later tonight at 11 o'clock p.m. at the Fountains, I'll be hosting the memes photo shoot, which is why I'm strong bad, in case you didn't notice. Yeah, and on Sunday, 2:30 p.m., I'll be hosting the cartoons, no anime cartoons shoot. And in this very same building at KatsuCon, I'll be hosting two panels: the leading ladies of Mario, bosses, players, and former damsels, and the history of Winx Club, an obscure yet enduring franchise. And then going back to the PBS shows, BlurredCon over in the Hyatt, I'll be hosting a panel about Miss Scarlet, aka Miss Scarlet and the Duke. But that's all the time we have for now. So time to shut down now. I'm hitting the stop button. You are welcome.